Hey everyone, this is episode 173. I had old regular Con and our mate Andrew in to discuss KISS and their virtual tour avatar thing that they've got planned, their latest grift, and basically the state of live music, where live music is headed, what we personally get out of that sort of stuff. I'll be honest, I recorded this back on the 13th of December, just before I went away. It's taken me a while to edit it, so yeah, I really don't know. I can't remember everything that we discussed, but do stick through it. It is a good listen and surprisingly insightful, considering the guests, and I only speak for 50% of the other guests. Yeah, like, share, follow, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Bunch of new people listening, so please don't be ashamed to admit that you listen to us. Have fun.
There are improvement works ahead, so this train will terminate at the next station.
Fake news, sir. Fake news.
Take me outside, how about that?
Are you Muslim?
He should have been slapped as a child. He's a spoiled little Greek brat who's probably been treated like a prince.
I'm not a crook.
What's on the agenda?
Oh, give me the agenda. Oh, relax.
When did you call me? When was it? We tried to organise it for the weekend, so it was like start of last week?
Yes. Not even, man. I don't think it's clicked the week yet.
So he called me a week ago, and he said, "Did you see the KISS thing?" And I said, "The virtual tour thing." He says, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I did." And I said, "What about it?"
Have you actually seen the intro? I mean, did you even see how it was brought into the concert?
At the end of the gig.
Like you said, because I was...
It's literally
working.
like a 2-minute thing, the way they brought it in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, have you actually watched it? I would really want to see your reaction if you actually see it.
You mean the way they
brought
announced
it in,
so to speak? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I said, yeah. I saw like snippets of it, right? Like, with the bodysuits and the...
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
The motion sensors that they use. Yeah. So I saw that. I said, okay, so it's a virtual tour thing. I didn't really read much on it. All I read was that that's their plan from this point on, to have a virtual touring... The band's touring virtually. Are they going to create new content?
Nothing has actually been released more other than that. Are they just going to be touring their old material over and over again, like they have for many years?
My understanding is that, well, who knows whether they do bring out any other music, but my understanding is that obviously these avatars take over for them, and they use it to make... KISS has always been known for a stage performance.
It's a brand.
Yeah, but the actual performance, the pyrotechnics, the everything, right? What they're going to do is by the use of... Now, this is like, using graphics that come with avatars, etc. They're going to go to the next level, like create, I suppose even things like anime type, graphics.
Well, they're following their comic book characters, right?
And bringing it to life, so to speak. So, and now that do you remember that the personas that they got, especially when they brought out the comic books and the Phantom of the Opera, they turned their characters almost like into superheroes, right?
Yeah.
This is the way they're going to go. They're going to turn these avatars into, rock star superheroes.
I remember years ago, like when they announced, like, an end of tour sort of thing, like 20 years ago, Gene Simmons had said in an interview, "We aren't, the band is bigger than we are, and I'd have no problem putting in 4 new heads to carry on the legacy."
That's what everyone thought.
Exactly. That's where the thought started. I remember that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And his idea was almost to recruit,
a 2.0.
But new recruits to be the next version. But since then, obviously with the advent of avatars that ABBA did and other little bits that have gone on, he's then gone, why should I go down that path? We'll just do it with avatars.
Let me just add to that, though. People are actually looking forward to that. As a KISS fan, the 2.0
people,
2.0, was that meaning the kids are going to get involved? Because obviously, you've got the kids that can easily, take over if they were going to go down that path. You know what I mean? Or was it going to be totally new, call it a KISS authenticated Kiss band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a Kiss cover band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
that's
younger.
You just hit it on the head, but see, I know a lot of bands lose members. Sometimes you get bands that you grew up with or whatever, and there's literally maybe one member left, right?
Yep.
Now, we know that happens, attrition, etc. But with Kiss as the example we're talking about, they started off as the four we knew, you know, and for whatever reason, Peter Criss no more, Ace Frehley no more, recruit some others, someone else comes in, but it was always still Kiss, you know what I mean?
They never changed the brand.
Once you start retiring everyone and bringing in a whole new lineup, it literally turns into a cover band. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see it.
This is the
But
problem.
you can still call it as the band name.
Sorry, Dave, this is the problem. Peter Criss and Ace Frehley dropped out in like the 80s, man. And then after the reunion, you know, in 2002, whatever it was, that was it.
Yeah.
They chopped Peter Criss
agreed.
completely.
That's right. Yeah.
There are still
they-
fans
yeah.
that haven't accepted Tommy Thayer and
Correct.
Yeah, and I
100%.
think that's wrong, to
I
be
think
honest.
it's ridiculous.
Because for whatever reason they're no longer there, it happened. And I think Eric Singer, Tommy Thayer, and even the Bruce Kulick and whoever was there, they're legitimate members of the band. I get that, in the evolution of the band. But once we go to this, we're retiring now, and we're going to bring in four new guys, ring in, so to speak, Kiss 2.0, whatever you want to call them, that then literally is a cover band, for me.
Yeah.
So my problem is...
But with a very good...
you got to look at it.
But with a very good budget. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But you got to look at it. You got to look at it from every perspective.
Yeah.
Right? So, like with this virtual band, okay? Why do you go to see bands?
And this is where this is the discussions I have.
Yeah.
Because this triggered like a whole lot of shit.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
The reason
'Cause
why
this is
I
all
go to...
new.
Because I listen to live music. Can you classify bloody hologram Kiss now as live music?
No.
Correct.
To be honest, I'm not against the idea of doing stuff like that, but it's how you market it and promote it. You know what I mean?
I'm against it in replacing the whole band outright.
Yeah, I agree.
And thinking you're going to maintain a touring schedule like Kiss maintain a touring
That's
schedule.
my point.
I think that's a cop-out.
Yeah, I agree.
There are plenty of artists like, look, what they're doing isn't a hologram, it's virtual. It's virtual.
No, I think they're going to go possibly
Aren't they-
hologram.
aren't they
ABBA, I
rotoscope?
think like ABBA is doing now.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
but I think ABBA's a little bit different.
Do you
it's
remember-
the same that they're avatars, but different motives, different way it came about, etc. Yeah.
Do you remember when they did it with Elvis? They created like a new concert from like a bunch of concert.
They did it with
things.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Tupac was a hologram, but that was
Yeah.
only two
And
songs.
Some of them were a little bit simplistic
Yeah.
versus doing a whole full-on show. You know what I mean? Yeah.
They were like original holograms or put together through archive footage, and they create like a new.
Yeah.
But I think they
thing.
also did one. Okay, and this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
They did one with Dio, right?
yeah.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably know, they did a Dio hologram, but with a band behind him.
See, there's all different
Which is still-
varieties of this stuff. See, one is, okay, so are we doing an homage to an artist, one-off tributes, stuff like that? I'll bring in the ABBA one that we talked about. ABBA obviously retired,
Yeah.
right? And the only reason they came out to do this was because everyone was screaming, "Oh, we want you back! Do something, do
Who
something."
wants ABBA back, man?
Well,
No, I liked ABBA.
one chili willy.
might not be you, but trust me, obviously there was demand there.
You can say it. You can say it. It was you, wasn't it? You wrote to him.
It was me.
You wrote to him.
Pre-sale,
I put my hand up.
pre-sale,
It
meet
was
and
me.
greet.
Flew to the
I've got
UK.
meet and greet, everything.
He's got the outfit.
I also got my ABBA socks from when we were kids. So
He still wears it too.
anyway, we digress. So the
We're here
point
with
is, they were retired 100%, right? Yeah. And then they came out to do a show, but they go, all right, let's do something new, something different. And it was literally sort of like a one-off type thing. Here you go, enjoy whatever, right?
I think they're touring it though.
Yeah, but what I mean is that they were never intending to come
Okay,
back.
they were just always a one-off.
It was always just, all right, people want to do this, we're going to do this, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Kiss, as we know, they're, if not the kings of fucking exploitation of merchandise. Back to when I was a kid. First introduction, my mum knew this stuff was going on. Here, look what I bought you, 4 Kiss dolls.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, I'm serious. She
That's
brought me
mad.
the 4 Kiss dolls.
That was the
Don't
first
ask
thing
me where
before.
they
Hang
are
on,
now.
before any music.
Before any music.
Okay.
Trust me. But she also then got me, my mum got me, believe this, figure this out, Detroit Rock City album, vinyl, right? And then obviously the others just started, collecting all the rest.
Yeah.
So, but that's my point. It's an Arusha. Even from back then, they had the Kiss chewing gum, the Kiss this, the Kiss that, the
Yeah,
lunch
colour.
boxes, everything, right?
Yeah.
So we're already used to it. That's
So they were
what, that's what
targeting
they're
kids.
about.
They were targeting kids,
They
I'm
were already
sure.
a merchandising machine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then as we go through their history, it was always about opportunities and that. Fine, I got no problem with that because everyone's out for a buck, whatever. But once it comes to, let's call it you got asked by Dim, why do you follow a band? Why do you go to a live concert, etc.? Because number one, you feel something about the music, it gets you, and you want to go and experience it live because you like how they sound.
But it's the fact that they're there too, though, right?
Yeah, it's the whole package, right?
You know what I mean? They're there. Like,
And going through Kiss as we've seen them live, etc., etc. Even though at one stage I've seen them with Peter Criss and Ace Frehley, but obviously with Eric Singer and that too, I enjoyed them both, no problem. I still see them as Kiss.
Yeah.
But once it gets to the point where they're no longer live people, it's morphing into a digital entity of
Exactly, it is,
all
yeah.
it is just a new version of marketing exploitation for me. And it's like, how far can you take it? You know what I mean?
I tried to think, like, when I saw it, right,
Yeah.
I tried to think about what I could compare it to,
Yeah.
and then how I felt, and then how I would feel experiencing it, like in this new sort of dimension, right?
Yeah.
First point of reference I had was the Tupac hologram. Do you
Yeah.
remember when that dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
remember that.
remember Coachella. I remember being on the internet at the exact time it dropped, and someone, a mate of mine, said, "Oh my god, like, have you seen this?" And they sent it to me. I got chills watching the Tupac hologram, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Gave you like it was a performance by an artist who had been dead for nearly 20 years. What?
That's the key. He was dead.
Yeah,
So it was like a tribute performance.
yeah.
That's
and it
why
was
got
like
to you.
But did he have backup band?
No,
right?
no. Well, what it was during Coachella. So Tupac comes out, Snoop comes out. Snoop performs alongside Tupac, right? They do two of America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Dre's there as well, so he's giving a shout out to Dre. Like it's like as real as you could get. And the way they did it was they combined, and this is what the interesting part about it. And all
Because
these
it's all DJ and stuff. So
all these tribute, all these holograms and all this stuff that comes out. Because they did one with Eazy-E, they did one with Biggie, like they did it with a bunch of artists, right? The way, and Michael Jackson, they did one with him, right? The way they do them is typically to make it seem like a live concert. They'll combine live performances and then mash them all together
Yeah, 100%.
to make it sound legit, right? Which I got no problem with. It's just a live album. That's how live albums usually get made
Yeah.
anyway, right? They'll take
Yeah.
10 performances over a tour and then say, this is the tour.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I haven't got a problem with that. But I got chills watching this. Would I go to see a full concert?
Yeah.
Probably not.
You know where I've seen that also? I saw Queen live.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously Freddie Mercury
Yeah.
not around. And but the thing is, I went to see knowing it's Adam Lambert with Queen. That was the whole show. It was them. That's why we were there. Now, during the show, obviously Brian May does this special thing where they pull out a little tribute thing they've put together of Freddie Mercury, where he sings with him. Oh, for the life of me, I can't remember the song, but it'll come to me. But yeah, similar concept. You know, they've got him there. They play together. Everyone gets emotional. It's a tribute thing, but it's there as an add-on to the live performance. You know what I mean? Whereas, like you're saying now, I don't know how you don't know how you're gonna feel knowingly going to a full-blown and animated avatar type show.
And
you know what I mean?
that was the difference, right? With the Tupac hologram, it's a hologram, so it sort of sits amongst the real stage with other
There's
performers.
like glass panels and shit that make it look
Well,
like
it
it's
depends.
3D.
There's
and
different
shit.
ways to do it.
Yeah, but he's an add-on to
Yeah.
the live show.
Correct.
Basically, yeah.
The Kiss one,
A tribute or a
seemed-
dedication.
The Kiss one, for all I can tell, is just going to be like watching a movie.
Yeah, it's
Like
a full animated.
But I think it's going to be a
type
hologram.
thing.
It's going to be the most highest. I personally think it's whatever technology we've got now to do this. not for me, but to do this, they're going to use that. So, that if there's like proper hologram systems that can make it look like they're actually there running around, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So my biggest issue now, is the fact that these guys are now like kicking back in the LA mansions, but they're touring New Zealand, Australia, South America, then they're in Greece, and then they're but they're at home, just kicking it, just reeling it in.
Look,
you know what I mean?
Look, like you said, artists get old, they pass away, right? They can't keep up. Like Bruce Dickinson's not going to keep going forever, man.
No,
you know what I mean? Like he runs around like a lunatic on stage, not like some reserved performer.
Yeah.
He's going to blow out eventually, and you can't fault it. He's
the Mick Jagger and the rest of them. Eventually,
Jagger's going to keep going till he's
it moves like Jagger.
Yeah, right. But the point is it's like quality. Look, I get the concept of it, but I don't see it being justified to do a full-blown tour as if this is going to be the extension of the band.
Yeah.
At some point, you've got to let it go.
Exactly.
Have a cover band. Have 1,000 tribute bands. Have Kistroya doing tours.
I'm reading a lot of feedback, let's call it, from all this. And it's probably about, look, it's attracting kids, obviously. It's like superhero kind of like personas. They've got if you see it, man, there's like Gene, like with the bat wings and like fire, and like Paul Stanley's got all that.
So
it's attracting younger kids.
Of,
all right. Let them put on Kiss Alive 2 and learn from that, man. But
it's not abandoned. It's not. You can't classify it as
that's what I'm saying.
Live music anymore.
Like I thought about. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. You guys go to bands and live performances, right?
Yeah.
How many do you reckon you've gone to in 2023? To see a live performance. Let's say there's 52 weekends, right? How many?
To be honest, I haven't been as much as I used to, but
he's got reasons. But like, I've been to heaps, man.
I've been to how many with this guy? That's what I'm saying.
I've been to locals. I've been to
big ones, local ones, whatever. Yeah,
I was thinking about it this year because I went to see 50 Cent last week, right?
Yeah,
sick, like incredible gig. Like when you watch it, you think this is why people still paying money to tour. Like, and this is his last one, right? Legitimately last one. The guy's a movie producer now. He's on another level. But I've always wanted to watch him, and when you see him like in person, in the flesh, doing his tracks, sounds legit. Improvs and does like different stuff like to the album, you know what I mean? Like the way you know the song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's got his hype man in the background adding shit. There's the whole element of theatre, the stage presence, all that sort of stuff. And then, like, you can see his charisma and, like, why he's 50 Cent. It's just an icon when it comes to hip-hop, right? And I thought about it. Like, who have I actually... After the Kiss thing, I thought, who have I actually seen this year? And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I've seen Chromeo. They came out 20 years ago, and I've been trying to see him for years. They cancelled the last time I meant to come in 2019. Finally got to see him live. Yeah. Incredible, man. Like, intimate gig, but it was incredible. Who else have I seen? I've seen Ice Cube. I saw Cypress Hill. I've seen like some big names, like big names, right? Would I see him again? Cypress Hill, maybe. Ice Cube, no. I've seen him twice, and this was probably his weakest performance.
Yeah.
If he released a virtual reality concert that was like watching a movie on a screen, I wouldn't go for a minute.
Yeah,
a minute.
Yeah.
Right? For me, going to the live performance outside of actually appreciating the music itself and the artistry and the performance, it's the energy that you get from being in a collective theatre, like a stadium or
that's right.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's called stage presence, man. Like, I mean, that amplifies from the person.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a real experience. That's
Exactly.
what we're talking about.
They're there. You're like literally like a bee's dick away from like.
Have you guys
the person?
I tried to think of another example. Have you guys ever gone to watch a wrestling pay-per-view at the cinemas? I watched a WrestleMania like that years ago, like 2005 or something. Did you ever see a pay-per-view at the movies?
Obviously, I've done a number of pay-per-views at like homes and stuff, but not at a cinema. No. Have I?
You've obviously gone to the wrestling in person.
Yeah.
How different is that?
Mate, even just the feel of like getting slammed, like you can hear it, man. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
In comparison to like watching it on the fucking little flat screen.
When you see it in person, you actually appreciate the athleticism like 100-fold, right? You can watch a pay-per-view, not live or even live. You can watch it in your house, right, and just like get amped up for the result. I watched a WrestleMania in a cinema screen. I thought this would be a novelty. Like, you got the big, movie theater.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same. And knowing it wasn't live either, it was delayed by
that's the
half an hour.
And that's the big point here, right? The big point now is, and he even said it with 50 Cent, where he was saying he improv'd a few songs, like maybe changed a few words and stuff like that. This hologram thing, if they're not going to, let's call it rejuvenate it every couple of months, well, guess what? It's going to be the exact same concert.
You know what the key word is?
Every single round.
We go to see the band live. They might do their stage performance. Yeah, there's choreography, but there's improvisation as well, right?
Yeah.
But there's the interaction with the crowd. You know what I mean? Things that they see, things that they hear. Someone throws something on the stage. And
hello, Melbourne.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. Oops, Sydney. There's the whole interaction stuff. Whereas this is all...
hello! Enter City.
That's the truth.
I remember like 20 years ago, a mate of mine went to the Chili Peppers when they came to town,
Yeah.
And this is when Ketis was like full-blown like heroin meth head specs, like just fried.
Yeah.
And he was a massive Chili Peppers fan. I remember asking him how'd it go. He goes, man, it's disappointing. I go, why? He goes, man, Ketis just wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Zero interaction with the crowd.
Yeah.
Like just going off script, you know what I mean? Barely even looking up. Rattling off his little dance moves, and that was it. Like, no encore, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that makes me sick. Like, going to a gig that you've paid good money for to not even be appreciated by the artist. I get burnout, but at the same time, don't tour.
Yeah. But that also touches on another point. There's fans out there, I mean, there's probably, you could divide them in different ways, but for simplicity, there's two types of fans. There's your fans that love a band or an artist, but if they see a shit performance, like you're just talking about now, it hurts them, but they're honest and they'll say, you know what, that was crap, I didn't like it, right? Then you've got other fans who, watching the same performance, will have blinkers on and they'll just go, oh, it was so great to be here, it's great, this and that. So that's the other key with this avatar thing. Are you going to have people who will look at it objectively and then go, you know what, I'm not feeling it? Or others that will just take it in just because it's more Kiss. You know what I mean? They'll just blindly follow.
This is the thing, man. Like, I tried to picture it in real time, whether it's a hologram or whether it's a big screen,
I've got something else to say. Yeah.
Could you imagine us three at Rod Laver watching virtual reality Kiss just go through their numbers, right?
Just going,
yeah. You wouldn't feel the same energy.
Nah.
Dude, perfect example.
Yeah.
I got your meet and greet.
Oh, yeah.
I got your meet and greet for Kiss, right?
Yeah.
Man, I barred up. Like,
dude, just even... like, literally just lining up, knowing, like, behind these curtains is, like, the band.
Yeah, that's
like,
the
you're getting fucking
That's
shivers,
what we're
man.
talking about.
This guy was like... Man, and he reacted, man. Like, I mean, even talking about it now, like, you're just like, hyped up.
I didn't believe it. Like, I legit didn't believe it.
Like, they're there, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
it's about. I know.
But now, like, what them new meet and greet's going to be, like, literally a fucking TV screen. Like,
you touch on... If we went to watch this thing, like you said, even if we're at Rod Laver or whatever, say we go, all right, let's go. We're going to go for the first song or whatever. We're going to be, oh, yeah, this is different. It's a novelty. And then with a lot of novelties, what happens?
Yeah,
quickly get tired of it and you get bored.
I reckon it would last. You'd be done with it within 15 minutes.
Yeah,
3 songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Tops.
But now think about a Kiss cover band now, going back to the whole 2.0, all right? But with the same production as Kiss has now. The same production.
All right, so you say, let's say Kiss Troyer, but like with the same production team.
Yeah. But like obviously almost look the same. They can change it up, man. Don't make a Star Child and Demon or change up the characters a bit. Make it like the same kind of universe, but change up the characters.
Yeah.
But the exact same production as Kiss has now.
I still
a lot more people I think would go to it than a hologram.
Yeah, but you know what the difference is, and just coincidentally because they were doing it already. You know how like we said, ABBA was retired, right?
Unlimited ABBA.
Yeah,
I know, man. You love it.
Don't you remember? Don't you remember there was the official
the lunchbox
cover band? Bjorn again. You know, the cover band?
Yeah. That's actually a good name.
Yeah, and everyone knew they were a cover band. No one treated them as if, this is ABBA 2.0 or anything. They were a pure cover band, but they were good at it.
Yeah.
And people, because they were good at what they did, people went and enjoyed them for what they were, a good cover band, right? Now, the difference is with Kiss 2.0 versus a cover band is that if it's a well respected, even if it's authorized cover band, but known as a cover band, then people will go and watch it, they'll enjoy it, they'll treat it for what it is, a tribute cover band, and obviously you pay to see the price of a cover band.
I was
right?
going to say, what do you reckon
That's
this
the other
virtual
thing,
tour is going to
How about
cost?
this now?
Versus trying to fob off, this is still Kiss, guys. It's just Kiss 2.0.
Okay, how about this one?
That smells like exploitation. Do you know what I
How
mean?
about this, though? Okay, another idea. Keep Singer, keep Thayer. Replace those two.
Why?
Because Singer and Thayer are a lot younger than him.
So what?
Just saying. They're kind of originals now. They're probably more originals than anyone.
Like I said, I give them all respect as being official members of
I
Kiss.
don't see him any less.
No, I
think
do.
about all the bands. Think about all the bands that lost musicians, either to death or whatever.
Yeah, or
dude,
falling
should Ozzy
apart.
Osbourne have stopped because Randy Rhoads died?
No, that's right.
Metallica, you know what I mean?
And what about and Ozzy Osbourne when he left Black Sabbath?
Black Sabbath.
Everyone thought, forget it, Black Sabbath's gone.
They've got
I hate
Dio
to say
issues.
this, but they literally were reborn and almost better than what they were.
Yeah.
You know,
It's different.
it can happen, you know.
Of course it can.
So
But that's- and then
Dio
again-
for me is
again-
just as much a big part of Black Sabbath as Ozzy is. Now that's different, but we're still talking about, live members of a band. It's just a member interchanging, whatever. Whereas now you're talking about, because we know the motives of why they're doing it. That's what makes it smell bad as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have so many other members. Ace, I'm sure, will be more than happy to do something. I mean, he does something.
Listen,
They're all
there's
ready
also
for it.
wait.
There's
You got to
singer,
understand
there's-
something. You have to understand one thing though. Ace Frehley is not Kiss anymore.
I know.
No.
No, 100%
He's not.
No.
He doesn't have anything to do with the brand.
Solo Ace Frehley for
He's
a long
not-
time.
and he doesn't
But
own
he
the
does
rights.
He does play some Kiss songs.
We're not saying
yeah.
he doesn't play stuff.
No, he's allowed
But
to play it.
he owns some of the tracks.
But
yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah,
I
it's like,
agree with
hang
your
on, it's
thinking,
not
yeah.
his product anymore. It's Gene Simmons and
I
Paul
think
That's
Stanley.
the point.
I'm
And if those two were no longer in Kiss, we're retired, it feels like the band is retired.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still band members in there, and you obviously replace Gene and Paul because they're in their 70s in comparison to, I'm not sure how old Singer is and Thayer is.
I'll tell you now. Hang on.
But, but Gene's, I think, 74, and I think Paul
Consultive
Stanley's
oracle.
71. So, yeah, that's understandable why they're retiring, and because they've obviously got the 6-foot high heels and the bloody, the fire and,
Look, I
flying
think we're
fox and all
venturing
that.
into uncharted territory in that a band traditionally, we're talking bands because it's not individual artists, like us as humans, always had like a limited lifespan.
Okay.
We always thought they would have a
But
start
you know
and
they
an
are
end.
going to be touring, though.
Tommy Thayer is 63 years old.
Yeah.
63.
Yeah.
That's not
and
young.
I bet you Eric Singer is probably around that at least
That's
as
60
well.
years, maybe.
Hang on, sorry.
What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought.
You're trying to see the merits of whether a recycled Kiss, which still has some members in there, but recruits,
No, sorry.
new replacements.
Eric Singer's 65.
Yeah, there you go.
Shit, there we go. Now, the other thing is,
We're talking about 6-7 years, man.
okay, the other thing is, Gene's still going to be touring his own solo band, and
Is he?
And, yeah,
Is
and
that for real?
And Paul's going to do his Soul Station, which is Soul.
Yeah, that's fine. People want
But
to
they're
go
still
see
touring,
them
though.
live.
They're still gonna be
They'll go
touring.
see them live, but
But
we're talking about this.
they can't do full blown Kiss anymore.
Yeah.
Full blown Kiss. So why can't you just do?
You know what? I'll give you an example. If this was marketed as the band has retired, properly, just like any other band that retires, thanks for the memories, etc. Now, we're going to launch something different, like it could have been, a cartoon or an animated series or whatever, but it's going to be a little bit more polished, like this Avatar type thing. But it's going to be more for like a digital consumption type thing, right?
Yeah,
not promoted as a replacement tour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, I think, where the crux of it is. It's Are you just giving us something else that, we will go, oh, that's something different, we'll check it out, versus trying to promote it as something that it's not?
I have a question. Sorry there. I have a question. Was this new virtual band going to be creating new songs?
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah,
no one knows. No one knows.
See, that was the
and
point.
Another question is, are they going to potentially just record themselves playing the concert as these avatars, because that's where they're wearing the bodysuits, and just releasing that?
No.
Or are they going to get themselves to play the concert in the suit for each?
No.
Or is someone else going to be doing
the whole point was that they've been... sorry, Dad, I can answer this question. That's why.
I think I know what it is.
The whole point is that they've been immortalized now. They've done the bodysuit scans. They've done all the motion sensing scans, like all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So now their their whole image...
It's stored digitally.
Yeah, they're what's it called? Intellectual property, like their identity, their intellectual property.
This is what we're talking about.
That's
fake, deep fake and stuff like that.
That's all stored now, right? They've done as many scans they possibly can to have flawless, avatars of themselves. And that was the whole point, that the band is now going to be immortalized because it can just keep going digitally and just keep playing concert after concert.
And this is the question. Is this going to be like an AI where it's going to be controlled... by a computer,
look,
and every single gig will be different.
I have a feeling that either they're going to have a team, because others do it already. They're either going to have a team of digital creators that are going to use that to put together performances, right?
But so, like, put a suit on you. Sorry, put a suit on you and play the concert in like.
Yeah, all created all electronically via whatever.
It's the face and everything of Paul and
they're
Gina.
creating Marvel universes.
You're looking at it as they're going to use a digital mask of them
of live performances,
which I don't think that's the case. I think what they've done is they've recorded them, right, to get their moves, their size, their shape, and everything, right?
Yeah,
and that's all been stored. And then now that that's been stored, they can use coding to sit there and go, all right, let's do a performance of this song, that song, that song. And in this performance, you're going to do a bit of fire breathing, you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
So it's that.
This is the code. Yeah, this is the pre-worked choreography.
This is
whatever.
Don't forget, this is going to be all digital stuff. That's how it works.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That they're not performing anymore.
There's not going to be a person they hire that you can't see that's just going to be
not a stunt
performing.
Yeah.
It's not live in that sense. The only live thing about it is the fact that they're going to broadcast it at a certain place or wherever.
Rod Laver.
And they're going to go, here's a performance. But the actual performance is going to be coded by digital artists.
Like you're watching any other animated movie.
Yeah, like a fancy animated movie, exactly.
And the only point of difference is that the audio would be made from live performances that they've already done in the past, hence being immortalized. So you can get the same live gig.
I think because they're not obviously dead, so they can use. They'll say a shitload of different words. No, they'll say no.
You can use AI.
You're misunderstanding me.
With this stuff,
You're misunderstanding
me. But I don't think they need to. He's right.
They don't.
No, they can make them say stuff in their voice.
Yeah, of course they can.
AI,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
that's
with
what I'm saying.
AI in that now.
But that's what I'm saying. They have to record their voices to say certain shit.
I've been recording this podcast now for 7 years. I have enough audio material to create whole episodes using 30 different people. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could create a whole new episode, just me, just saying absolute nonsense, just because of all the audio hours that I have if I was physically keen enough to sit there and code it. Do you know what I mean?
I can just...
You think Kiss?
I can just picture, like, you know those American restaurants that had those robotic...
That was the point. Kiss are done. Like, they're not going to be performing anymore. They're done, man. If they're doing their live things for shits and giggles, fair enough. Like, their solo stuff.
Yeah.
But as a band...
that's all it is. It's more of a...
And which begged the question for me is, are they going to be creating new material for these virtual tours? Or are they giving creative license to anyone else to create new material using AI? Because AI is fucking powerful. I don't know if you've been following, like, all the technology now,
right? It's
right?
scary, man. Terminator.
Yeah, dude.
He always goes to Terminator. Skynet or Terminator.
That's the beginning, yeah.
I'll be disappointed if it doesn't look like Arnie, though.
I remember, it must have been 6 months ago, I heard Notorious B.I.G. rapping Mobb Deep's Shook One's Part 2 verse, right? And they used the AI trainer on it, and it sounded sick.
Yeah, that's...
Didn't have all the cadence of Biggie's voice, but his voice was technically perfect, like accurate.
Yeah.
Just some of his inflections were a bit off. But, the feedback on the net, and anyone that heard it was like, oh, this doesn't even sound like him. It's not natural. I go, mate, this is the first peg of the technology. It's been around for a minute.
Exactly.
Look at how far it's progressed in 6 months.
I think technically, without for R&D and that, but I think it's, a year?
If that.
It's only been about a year.
And we were just at the first stage
I
of
think
the technology.
Sinatra did the same thing. Wasn't
of
the
course he
Sinatra
did.
one?
Yeah. I played it on that pod.
Yeah.
But that's the point. The technology is in its infancy.
And so this is the scary part. You'll be like, what's good now? All right, make Kiss, make a new album for 2023 in comparison to like other...
Even
and they'll
that-
just create something.
Even that.
And it'll be like, oh shit, it's good.
You
How?
could honestly do... Look, even if you don't want to go that focused on AI, right? But you could take any good songwriter that knows how to write in certain styles, yeah? Like take Dr. Dre, right? Dr. Dre is the biggest hip-hop producer of all time. Take his album 2001. Eminem wrote like a third of that album, right? Because Eminem's a good songwriter because he knows how to write in Dr. Dre's cadence and style. That's what a good songwriter does. Jay-Z wrote the verse for Still D.R.E., which is the biggest single on that album, right? You could get songwriters that just know the style to write the song and then train it through AI to follow suit. So it sounds like a Kiss song.
But the thing is, now,
it's Paul Stanley singing.
You could feed it some of the biggest hits of Kiss.
Yeah.
Go, this song, that song, that song, that song. It'll digest it. And you go, now, I want you to write me one in the style of...
Okay, now the question. What song would that fucking mean to you in comparison to like a song called like Love Gun, for instance, right?
You mean if it was done in that way?
Correct. Whereas you're like,
I would
the new Kiss song album's going to come out. It's called, I don't know, I-O, or whatever. Anyway, there's no feel behind that, right? Like, I mean, Paul wrote Love Gun. There's obviously meaning behind it. We love it. Fucking amazing track, right? Because it's something from him. We know why. What the fuck is this new album going to be like? If it is going to go down the path like Biggie and Sinatra, what song would that be? Like, oh, a new Kiss song's going to come out. It sounds like Paul and Gene and everything else.
Yeah.
But what does it mean? Sweet fuck all.
No, wait a second. Hang on.
No.
Every generation, there's artists that stand out and create these like timeless classics. But as you keep going, there'll still be timeless classics as you keep going, as the ball keeps rolling.
Yeah.
And you'll always get people getting influence from older artists, and it's just going to keep going and keep going, keep going. I think what you're getting confused, not confused, but you're sort of leaning in too much on the AI, soulless computer mashup. I'm talking about like taking any songwriter, because like, okay, take, what's it called? Phivos in Greece. He writes all of the Greek singers.
Yeah, he's like the Stock Aitken Waterman of Greek singers.
Right? He writes everything for he's worked with every singer, man. He's worked with Gara, Dalara, like name the singer.
Gara number one.
He's written songs for everyone, right? Let's pretend that he was 30 years younger, all right? And all these singers are dying out, but he's still kicking, yeah? He could easily keep writing songs in the same style that he's been writing for the last 30 years, keep doing them, train AI voices on them, and move on. The song's still going to be in the same rhythm, the same tone, the same heart. Everything's going to be exactly the same. And as the technology progresses, it's just going to get closer and closer to the real McCoy.
Yeah.
The only thing that I bring up is the fact that, do we want copies of the past? All this says to me is relevant to what the actual trend is right now. And I don't know if you guys have been following, but aging artists now, like the artists from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, are all selling concerts out. Whereas young artists are barely moving sales now. They're all digital based.
It's all about nostalgia.
Yeah. There's because people are starting to appreciate actual artists that sweat, blood, tears, the whole thing. They're freaking pinnacles of like artistry and performance.
It's called hard work, correct?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I would have loved to see Britney Spears in her prime, man, to see one of those circus productions, man. She didn't have the best voice, man. She wasn't Christina Aguilera, but her shows were like massive. It's like a theater thing, man.
Yeah, she was in the mold of Madonna.
Yeah.
Again, not a great voice, but she was a show.
Whatever.
Show.
But that's my point. Like, you can appreciate that in the artistry itself, but that's the thing. This nostalgia thing is huge.
Oh, dude, I think I was driving into the city. It was like TLC, Busta Rhymes, and On Vogue coming, doing a whole fucking stadium. You know what I mean? Like, probably 2-3 years ago, maybe 5. Mate, they'd be lucky to fucking fill up Hi-Fi Bar. You know what I mean? Like, but now it's all about they like appreciate non-YouTube, non-fucking influencer fucking music.
Look, to be honest, there's obviously still people who love young modern artists and they want to support them and everything. But I think back in, you know,
When the music
our
was good.
vein of
Oh my
music,
God, I sound old. When the
didn't
music
come
was
here.
good.
But what was that huge concert that happened in America? Power Trip.
What was Power Trip?
Oh, the metal one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all what you're talking about.
Man, the list was insane.
Huge,
You saw it.
but they were all, I'll call them, with respect, aging rockers. It was Ozzy.
With respect.
It was Judas Priest. It was
Every
Metallica.
single person in this fucking genre.
Every single one was, they weren't young and modern. They were
I
old,
had some
you know?
modern, but following the tradition. Like, I mean, there was some.
Oh,
Yeah,
new
but
age,
that was
new
like
wave
the
metal.
openers, so to speak.
Yeah.
Everyone was there to watch the, the main acts.
Look, I'm not someone that gets hung up on nostalgia of music where I was better in the old days. Like, I'll always look for new sounds and progress,
Oh,
right?
I agree. I'm the
Right?
same.
You have to. Like, you can't just get stuck. Otherwise, why aren't we all listening to, you know, Mozart or things from the, you know, that era? Like, we don't.
Yourself, I do have Mozart vinyls.
I'm sure you do. I'm just making a point. I've got no problem with the Mozart or Chopin or Bach or whatever. But I'm just making a point. You don't see him on commercial radio. This commercial sound is just commercial sound. It became urbanized about 20, 25 years ago and then just kept rolling forward. My big thing isn't so much around the performance thing of Kiss and the virtual reality thing, right? Because I don't see it panning out. I see it being a novelty, a one-trick thing that will just fizzle out.
I think so too.
One
Yeah.
tour, if that, and that'll be that,
Yeah.
right? What
Look, to them, I hope it is a big thing and it works, but I just don't see it. Anyway.
I'll come back to Kiss, right? This is because I'm going further past Kiss
Yeah,
right
let's
now,
do it,
right?
let's do it.
I'm more not concerned, but I'm more thinking about in the terms of AI and what it means for music moving forward and all that sort of stuff, right? With the power of AI, you could technically create new works of Shakespeare by like feeding it all his work.
I know what you
But that's
mean.
exactly what I
Right?
was talking about with Kiss and the new albums.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, but do we want new works by Shakespeare?
No.
Why?
Because
It's not Shakespeare.
It doesn't come from the conscious of him. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. What about like with AI, right? You had Tupac and you had Biggie, and they only did 1 or 2 songs together, and they were both killed. Using AI, would you be happy hearing a song featuring both of them in a new vein?
I think the way I see it is, if you want to bring something out like that, but call it something else. It's inspired by that, rather than it's a new version of that.
So, but
I
the
think
thing
that's
is,
what gets me the most.
But going back to what you're saying is, like, say, for instance, you're saying, would you hear a new song from Tupac after 20 years of his death? Or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
And let's look at what he's done so far. The shit that he's sung about was due to personal...
It was dated to that era, yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
whatever
right.
he's gone through, whatever he's done, whatever he's copped, whatever he's done.
Yeah, it was
but
linked
let's-
to him, that's right,
Because
yeah.
it's his story, right?
Yeah.
How's this new song that's going to come in 2023 for Tupac going to reflect on what Tupac did 20 years ago?
Yeah, because his message ended when it ended.
Correct.
A lot of it's still relevant, but it's not... You can't have Tupac rapping about TikTok or like Google or like
Well,
things
yeah,
that didn't
because
exist.
It's not relevant
he
anymore.
may have, if he
Yeah.
was still here, but you don't know. It doesn't feel genuine. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It could have
And back
changed-
to what your point
Yeah.
was, I see it as, I don't mind if they want to do stuff like that, but call it what it is. It's something new,
Inspired
by something, which is fine. Don't call it what it's not, that it's a new thing of that artist. You know what I mean? And that, I think, brings us back to what we're talking about with Kiss and the avatars. I don't mind if they do something and it's a novelty and, you know, it's inspired by Kiss, etc. But don't try and fob it off that it's an evolution of its actual Kiss. It's not.
When I first heard the AI Tupac coming out, he wasn't talking about anything really modern. So it was still, the lyrics were still grounded in sort of just generic, not generic, but like, you know, general sort of reaching stuff, not era relevant or representation of 2023. And it gave me chills because I'm listening to this guy that's been dead for 20 odd years, rapping about something new, and I'm like, shit, this is so fucking surreal. Amazing technology, right? If they brought out an album that was all AI based, and I knew that they used writers, old producers, and created something that was in his voice and with his, general direction.
But it came from the minds of the same
of
kind
the people that were in his era. If they went, I would
appreciate that.
I would appreciate it, right?
A lot more.
The problem with this Kiss 2.0 thing, right, is the fact that there's so many ways to go about it, but it just sounds like a grift.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. The exploitation part.
Exploitation,
that's right.
I would be more comfortable with them doing what Con said before, retiring the 4 avatars and creating 4 new band members in the same universe. They might sing some of the classics, but they create new music moving forward.
As I said, change them. Like, I think Bruce Kulick was apparently almost like the Hawk or whatever. Like, different...
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, if they want to go down that path. I know what you mean,
That's what I fucking said ages ago.
No, I'm saying, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, as they say.
If you're skinning cats, bro, fuck off.
I never understood that saying.
I know, me too, man.
Who skins a cat? No one skins a cat.
But we get the point.
Yeah.
So we get what you're saying, Con, but what we're trying to say at the same time is that it all comes down to what's the motives of what they're doing it, of why they're doing it, and what's it going to be like moving forward? Because, like you said, are they doing it because it's just same old Kiss, finding a new way to grift and exploit fans and just freaking squeeze every dollar out of them?
I'm more worried about...
Or is it going to be something that's fans are going to look at it and not feel like they're being cheated? They're just going to go, I actually think this is a cool idea. I dig it. It's something a bit different. I'm happy to, check it out. It depends on the motives and how it comes across to the fans.